I nearly had to leave color purple, yes ma'am. Who said that? Because, if I don't stand up, how am I going to make things easier for Fantasia, Danielle, Hai, and Felicia? I'm simply sick of hearing my sisters repeat the same thing over and over again, working so hard and being gracious at what I do for a little portion of the pay, and having to forfeit 3 years of vacation time to do it. Taraji P. Henson has joined a growing group of African American actors who are criticizing Oprah Winfrey for undervaluing them. Taj, however, went a step farther and disclosed that when they attempted to pay her crumbs, she nearly left the recently released Oprah-produced version of The Color Purple. Taj sobbed during a recent interview with Oprah's closest friend Gayle King, saying she's so frustrated of constantly having to beg for decent compensation that she's even thinking of permanently giving up acting. Taraji is not the only one who has discussed this either. You may recall how Monique was vilified after she came forth and revealed that Lee Daniels and Oprah Tyler Perry had blackballed her, calling her difficult just for refusing to go on an unpaid film tour. Supporters are now complaining that it's shameful that Oprah, the richest Black woman in the world, has never lent her voice to significant causes. What precisely did Taj expose about Oprah in The Color Purple? I know that Black women have complained about pay, but it simply goes to demonstrate that there are no nice billionaires. Let's get started. It seems that every time I accomplish anything, I shatter yet another glass ceiling, and then when it comes time to renegotiate, I find myself at the bottom once more, as if I had never done what I had just done. One of the producers of the forthcoming The Color Purple adaptation, Oprah Winfrey, is once again in the news for all the wrong reasons when star Taraji P. Henson complained about not being paid adequately. And nearly giving up on this project, producing the new version of The Color Purple, is Oprah's Harpo Films. Oprah portrayed Sophia in the 1985 film adaptation of Alice Walker's book, which was produced by Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment, SGS Pictures, and Quincy Jones Productions. Danielle Brooks plays Sophia in the movie. Fantasia portrays the lead role of Sally Harris, while Taj currently plays Shaw Avery. One would assume that someone like Taj, a seasoned professional with more than 20 years of experience and several awards and honors, wouldn't have to battle to be paid fairly, particularly for a movie, such as the movie Purple, which Oprah produced. You would also think that Oprah, with all her power, would fight for Taj and the other actresses in the film to get paid fairly, but it turns out Oprah did nothing to support Taj and others in getting paid fairly. In fact, Taj claims that her initial offer was insultingly low, and they wouldn't budge until she threatened to leave the project. Taj has had enough of fighting for what is rightfully hers, and in a recent interview with Oprah's best friend Gayle King, Taj disclosed that she may permanently quit acting because she is tired of having to fight for recognition. Now that Taj was there to promote The Color Purple, Gayle tried to make light of the situation, but Taj wasn't kidding when she explained that Black actresses are still underpaid and that even seasoned actors like her must fight for fair pay on every new project they work on. You could tell Gayle was feeling very uneasy because Taj dared to say, "I hear on the street that you're thinking about getting stopped acting." We responded, "Stop talking. I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. You get tired." It seems like every time I break a glass ceiling during a renegotiation, I end up at the bottom again, feeling as though I never accomplished what I had done. I understand that it wears on you, and Taj broke down to explain that she wants to fight for the next generation of actresses, but she can't do that because she herself is still not getting paid what she deserves. If I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what the hell am I doing? "I'm sorry, and I see what you do for another production fans," observed Taj didn't appear thrilled, promoting The Color Purple before this interview, and you could tell something wasn't right by the body language between her and Oprah. "Then it's time for us to go to bed." "You don't have any money?" they play in your face. Taj continued after that, saying in an hour-long interview that she did as part of the SAG after foundation conversations that she nearly left The Color Purple because they were trying to pay her scraps. "I can't see a thing, but can anybody see anything?" Taj was commended by the host for her continued enthusiasm and desire to reinvent herself in new endeavors. Taj, however, asserts that it's challenging to maintain one's passion when one is being treated unfairly and paid less than half what one's worth. She says that it's frustrating when people tell her that she works too hard and that she has to do the math because it doesn't add up. The Benjamin Button story resonates so strongly because Tajay also discussed her part in the 2008 blockbuster, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and said that she had to struggle to be paid $500,000. This film also earned Tajay an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Since $500,000 was all I was requesting. I wasn't attempting to defame Brad Pitt or Kate Winslet. They worked hard for what they got, and I did the same. Tajay then brought up Color Purple, revealing that she nearly left Oprah's project because the offer they made her feel humiliating. I haven't seen a raise in pay since Proud Mary, and I nearly had to leave Color Purple. What? Yes, ma'am? Who said that? Because, if I don't stand up, how am I going to make things easier for Fantasia, Danielle, Hi, and Felicia? If this is all about me, then why am I doing this? And why are you here right now? Although Tajay did not specifically mention Oprah, it appears that she indirectly called her out by stating that women in positions of authority ought to use their influence to assist those who come after them. God is very clever. He created us all with unique characteristics and made life complicated. We must find a solution, which we can and will do. However, he probably knows that Tajay is not the first person to make such a suggestion, which explains why Tajay is reluctant to mention Oprah by name. Because of what happened to Monique back in 2009, which is well known, she publicly claimed that Oprah blackballed her for demanding payment for a press tour for the film Precious, which was directed by Lee Daniels and produced by Oprah and Tyler Perry. After Monique fulfilled all of her contract obligations, Oprah and Tyler asked her to go on an international press tour, but they informed her that she wouldn't be paid for it. Monique turned them down, and almost immediately headlines began to appear, characterizing her as difficult to work with. As you may know, being called difficult is a death knuckle in Hollywood, especially for a Black woman. After this, Monique's career never fully recovered, and she had stated to The Hollywood Reporter earlier this year that Oprah still owes her a public apology. If Oprah were to see this, what advice would you give her? I would encourage her to quit hiding behind what you refer to as negative remarks. Oh, that's not something I even deal with, because people are starting to see you for who you really are. To make matters worse, even after OA was accused of interfering with Monique's career, she went ahead and took advantage of her essay trauma for her show while filming Precious. Monique confided in Oprah about being essayed by her brother Gerald and her parents not believing her. Oprah made the decision to invite Gerald to her program, but she didn't let Monique know that she would also be inviting her parents. Monique was horrified to learn that Oprah had taken advantage of her traumatic experience in order to boost ratings. I told her that my mother and I were not communicating, that we were in a terrible place, that I was hurt, and that I was trying to figure out why she had never mentioned that my mother would be appearing on that show. If Oprah Winfrey had said, "I'm going to have your mother," I would have responded, "Shut it down." Considering how greedy my mother is, I don't need the world to see this. Fans are now criticizing Oprah for her actions, and they're afraid Tajay will face the same kind of backlash as Monique, now that she's made her public about nearly quitting Oprah's project due to low pay. One fan wrote that Oprah is a common villain between Monique's story of being blackballed for voicing her worth and Tajay's tears during the press tour over not receiving enough money. It's crazy, and another person added that Tajay survived The Color Purple. I am aware of what Tajay is saying, but there is still more to come. Please share your thoughts regarding Tajay's statement, and if you believe Oprah ought to have done more to support Taj in the comments section below before moving on to the next video.